Okay, here's the second attempt at a video. Of course, this is one of the reasons why I'm have healing potions with me. Not peach potions, sorry, that's like I've been hanging out in the main lobby with the WoW people too long. But Dreadmaster, and with this particular decoration, even though the Dreadmasters weren't necessarily completely in line with the Sith, because later in the storyline you end up going against them. That's no secret. I mean, everyone knows about Oricon and the Dreadmasters by now. You don't even have to have the story done necessarily and know about them. But he's pretty badass, and of course he's looking, out on the world, declaring how much power and strength he has over it. And here you can see some of the Mandalorians have been hired to come and assist people. We've got, of course, the Reliquaries, another, bounty hunter over there. Because, like just with Korriban, Reliquaries are everywhere. Worship the dead and everything. And kind of as filler and also as fun, you will see mounts and pets. So, Indigo. That's the Obsidian Mantoran. Indigo is my other favorite. That one, wonder who donated that one. Of course, there's been millions of credits worth of decorations donated, even purchasing straight out of your collections that you have for your stronghold. Damn, I should have brought a thing of water. This room was a little different. Originally, it was just had like a statue in it and a few things. With the waterfall room, everyone likes putting pets here, and I wanted to do something different with it other than making it the watering hole for the pets. So it was kind of like a, forgotten holding room of things. And now after I came back to work on it some, and it got turned into more of a forgotten artifact room, with a little bit of homage to the passing with the hollows of the fallen Imperials and the Sith destroyed, shattered Sith artifact. So, oh yeah, my awesome knowledge of decorations is failing me suddenly. I'm gonna die. I'm mortified. Once again, that's a rain ambient. Revan Reborn. Even though that's more modern, I decided to go ahead and put it in here. And this is actually one of the sad things. It's like, I want to change this room. Give me time to make the room prettier. I don't care if we're going to get like Rishi in 2 days. Can I come in here and make everything more awesome? It's got to be more awesome. Whiny kitty. So obviously when you make videos, you have a whiny kitty staring at you going, why are you being so loud? I was napping here. Oh, well, if you're talking, then I must be able to play with you. And the next favorite thing of the guild leader in mine, even though actually I'm less of a fan of symmetry than he is symmetry. Soldiers everywhere, they're all lined up perfectly. Ha 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 ha. Everywhere. And it actually is one of those details that gets annoying because you'll see even the chipped barrel urns are like, both sides are equal. That I threw a little bit of asymmetry here. It's like, okay, here's some random pots and everything like that. Because at one point, we actually didn't have the Yavin Octave plan or the blood fern, and this one of course is Yavin, and there was the specification of put as many Yavin things in here as possible. Another reason why you have the lanterns, the Yavin lights, which are pretty awesome. And yes, even though this is the Zakalin hanging foliage, which is from the expansions, it's also appropriate for the look here, that it can kind of blend in without actually being obvious that is from a different technology. And even from Korriban and from like Mayan architecture, because Mayan architecture and design is where they got some of the inspiration for Korriban. You've got murals like this everywhere, but this is like the only mural they really have, unless you include the Dread Fate plaque. But this is actually more stylistically appropriate if you're going with the main influence, Mayan. Of course, Revan, resident badass. And although this wasn't exactly, hey, we're an ancient temple, had to show off the fact that we have a ton of little sabers, the unstable arbiter sabers and dual sabers. Because the Imperial Reclamation Service come and take it over, you'll notice that they've brought back things they can work with, put the, maybe redid the wiring, ha 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 ha, brought the electricity back. And you also get to have fun, placing various other decos likes the tribal chest, which is more from Tatooine and the Sand People. Of course, the Mandalorians here have been helping as mercenaries to secure the area. You've got the Yavin temple flags, another homage to Yavin and Yavin architecture, and all the fun little doohickeys that you can click on and entertain yourself with. This being the bounty monitor. God, my rendering sucks. Since the update, just like a day or two ago, unfortunately, everyone seems to be lagging, and it sucks. And also, for decorating, one thing I do like is intentionally putting the clickables in here, because you're running around. It's what fun do you not have if you can't like click and interact with things? And yes, decorating this, I'm sure I've fallen off this ledge about 5 or 6 times, along with like every other ledge, because it's like, let me see how close to the edge I can get to place things, because then it's easier to go up here and, you know, reach that little small one and replace that. And look, it's filler and it's cute because Nexu are awesome. Oh, yeah, and to be honest, I never really got around to doing this, even though I've joked about the one other Easter egg in here that was approved in here. There was a Twilight dancing girl in here, even though she's completely off the theme, is that you can actually, for your stronghold, for the guild or your personal stronghold, you know, kind of hold those Easter egg hunts or other hunts, like, hey, yeah, find all the pets here. Find a desert Nexu. I dare you. So in this case, we are going to find the dancing Twi'lek girl. Well, you can do that now or later. And then, of course, now this is the reason why you've discovered that I have mounts on my quick bar. My quick bar is showing, because otherwise this would be a pain in the ass. The dual sabers were the ones that were used downstairs, and the single sabers were used the hallway. Other decorations that have gone up, originally there were the banners that were on the wall, but the walls themselves, as you can tell, are slanted, and the problem is you can tell immediately that it's just this completely flat thing that's glued to the side. It doesn't have, even though it has the drape texture and shadowing to it, it is clearly not draping, and it completely defeats the illusion of this great, you know, textured surface at an angle. So I went and I put the standards in, you know, instead the banners rather than the hanging flags. And because you'll see that these figures are very common. They're the giant, you know, like towering figures over the I forget the temple complex of the dead and Tulak Horde outside of the Korriban Sith Academy, but you'll have the figures bending and leaning their head as the weight of the world leans on them, and as they tower over you with their rise and their prominence of their struggle from slavery to becoming Sith Lords. And of course, we had to have a little homage in here by putting at least one in here. The Cowled Man, even though on like toy decorating was originally labeled as a Yavin or Republic, I think it was a Republic decoration, is actually also, you've seen that same exactly decoration in Korriban. And we have plenty of the statues of the Throned Emperor, because the whole thing with Valkorion hasn't necessarily happened at this point. It doesn't quite fit the theme, even though you can work it in there. Look, if it was rendering properly, this would be the guild leader's favorite decoration. It goes in everything. It chops, it dices, it slices. You can eat it. Just kidding. I wouldn't want to eat it. Alright, time for another video. This is way too long.